Hi, this is Prometheus, and I'm giving you a breakdown of my shotgun normal halfback week offense. This is probably not a very new offense or offense that is revolutionary. Matter of fact, it's got a curl flat concept, which is my base play that you've seen all over the Madden community on YouTube videos and whatnot. But this is an offense that I ran into one of my opponents. I was playing the Bengals. My opponent was playing the Saints. And it's the Southwest Alley FG offense that he essentially shredded me. He had the offense just understood it so well that it was difficult for me to stop him. And after he scored 49 points, it just got to a point that I just couldn't catch him. So once I watched the videos of my gameplay. I watched my gameplay, and I just decided to go ahead and put this set in. And coincidentally, since I put the set in, I've been undefeated. I've won 6 games in a row. I've really been tearing up my opponents. So I figured I'd share this with you so you can just try to implement it. It's just a strategy, and you can actually build these techniques and a lot of these strategies into other offensive sets, and it's just a nice base offensive set to start with because it forces your opponent to make adjustments and actually go ahead and let's get into the audibles that I like to run in this particular set. So the audibles I like to use in this are the following. I like the Dolphin Wheel. The Dolphin Wheel is good against man coverage, which we'll run into eventually too. The Giant Forks is also a good man coverage beater. You got that in and out angle route with the split end or with the slot receiver that really causes a lot of problems. And you have a built-in fork and another post route. The running plays, you could either go with an inside zone or counter if you feel more comfortable with it, or delay. And I like the buck sweep primarily because it gets me outside. It's got 2 pulling guards. You can go with halfback base because you have 1 pulling guard, but I like the sweep just because it's a run that forces people outside. Other alternative pass plays would be the Cowboy Shake. That's a really good pass way to use too. But let me go ahead and show you how this scheme works. All right, so my base play is going to be the curl flats, and I like to take the slot receiver in the split end and put those 2 receivers on the long side of the field or the long side of the field. So curls flat is going to be my base play, and let's just say you have an opponent that's actually just going to go with a base man coverage. So either a blitzing situation or he's just going to go with man coverage. So let's do a cover 1 robber as a defense. Now, as you can see, the wide receivers, there's backed off coverage. And essentially you have basically 3 different, you have just a couple of reads. You're going to look off to the left side and look at where the slot receiver stills is at and more, and those are going to be your initial reads. You're really going to be reading that nickel defensive back and following where he goes. Now, if he falls into coverage, that's going to kind of make adjustments on where you're going to throw the ball at. But if that nickel defender actually follows stills, likely in man coverage in this type of situation, simply all you have to do is just throw the outside of any of the comebacks, and you can go to Colson on the right hand side, or to Moore on the left hand side, and then you have a dump down the scroll. So looking at the coverage really quick, this is man coverage, this is robber coverage. So in this type of situation, you're just going to go ahead and just rifle the ball. So I'm going to throw the ball to the outside shoulder of Moore. And it's really easy to pick up yards on this type of coverage, primarily because the wide receiver, the corner plays just doesn't react to the ball at all. So you could see I picked up a good 20 yards on that. Going to the backside, I can go to Colson, throw the outside, and once again that man was really way off. Try it again. Go to the left side. Pick up some pretty easy yards. You can go back to the right side on off coverage. And all you're really doing is just waiting for the icon to pop up. It's very simple read. And the other route that you can actually hit up would be Sproles, the running back. And I like to do an outside pass lead after he makes a break up. and he got in between the defenders. The way the coverage is coming down, you probably want to do a pass to the inside, and he was able to pick up, maybe be able to pick up some more yards, or you could do a pass down if you're unsure. And I was able to, if I waited a little bit longer, you're basically going to get that. So with a cover three, basically you've got those flats taken out, but you do have holes where the comeback route's at. So in a cover three zone, you want to watch that. As you can see, it's pretty much the same thing. You know, really, if you got the defenders backed off, you're looking at the nickel back. If the nickel back just doesn't react, it doesn't automatically start falling back in an angle, that is going to be a completion for a good 10 or 15 yards. You can pretty much do it on the other side too, pick up another 15 yards. So playing cover three is not necessarily a smart option against this offense. However, your flats are going to be taken away. Well, it looks like his defender didn't. He came over pretty slow, but let's take a look at the other side. He got past the defender, Graham, but there was a defender in the way. It just seems like a really risky play to me. So you're getting the ball off, but there is a defender in the area. But if he does go with a cover three, you're going to be able to pick up an easy 5 or 6 yards with the running back on this particular set. So cover three is really not a very good option at all against this play. This really destroys cover threes, as you can see by the pickup. One of the most common coverages you'll see to try to defend against this is probably a quarters coverage, where you're going to have a couple of the defenders fall into purple zones and take away those hook routes. And that's when you have to start looking. So, you know, you always want to go where the slot in split end are located at. That's going to be your first read, because it's going to kind of determine where things are going to be coming from. So let's go ahead and just watch this play, and let's show you throwing to the comeback route or the hook route, the curl route with more. As you can see, the defender's right there to make a play. But what you really want to do is you want to try to watch that defender. If the coverage is backed off, most likely it is going to be either zone or it's going to be man. So the real read is you're going to be reading this defender. You're going to be reading this guy right here and seeing where he falls. If he falls back into a purple, then you obviously have to go ahead and take the flat play. That's the smart play, or the running back underneath. So let's go back into the play really quick and watch how that flat route is wide open. And that just was a bad pass. I probably have pass lead up on that, which is a pass lead up. And as you can see, Stills was able to pick up some pretty good yards on that. Good 5 or 6 yards. Really going to start causing problems for your opponent if he backs off like that. The other route that you want to look at is you want to look at the running back. If he's got a guy pulling out of that zone, Sproles will be wide open, or your running back will be wide open on that angle route. It's really what makes this play so effective is the following. It's going to be that curl flat combination with an angle route, a halfback angle route on that side. And really, you're going to be forcing your opponent to actually do things. Now, on the backhand side, once again, you can hit the flat with the tight end. But really, I like the tight end for other things in this particular play set. I like to take the tight end and put him into different routes, really causing some problems. Or you could do a double curl over here, really causing some problems, because with if the person falls into a quarters look with 2 purple zones, you're really going to cause another common defensive set you're going to see against 2-man under. 2-man under, the corners come down, they press, and they release the wide out. You'll see a lot of that type of coverage. So we're going to go ahead and select that. So as you can see, you got the 2-man under just for coverages, but you can still get away with those curl throws on this particular coverage. I'm going to throw them more off the left-hand side. I just wait for my icon. There's going to be a press. There'll be a slight little delay. So if there's no block shed, I can still get that ball off. So let's go ahead and see that. I'm still going to throw the outside once that icon comes open. So as you can see, I was able to pick up a good 15 yards on that. Actually 20 yards on that. I can even go to the right side where Sherman's at. Same situation, wait for the icon, throw the outside, and I was able to go ahead and pick up a good 15 yards on that play. Also, what's really going to give you a lot of openings is on a man-2 under is a running back on the angle route. So just take a look at the angle route. As you can see, he's wide open, and the safeties actually cover outside, so that the inside of the middle of the field is going to be wide open. That's kind of the ideal situation that you want to try to hit in coverage if you're going to stay with the curl flats play. All right, so in a cover 2 sink, basically you've got all of your close defenders are all in yellow zones, and you have your 2 deep safeties in halves. So in other words, they're in blue halves, covering the different things. So really, you're going to, once again, you're going to take a look. This looks like it could be a 2-man under, and you want to watch what happens and how this play develops. All right, so when we look in the replay, I'm always going to try to throw to the long length of the field, and as you can see, the defenders kind of disperse out, and they kind of shadow. It looks more like almost like a cover 3 type shell. So that really you don't want to go after the flanker. You probably could have forced this ball in because he did fall into his zone, and we'll come back to that. But as you can see over here where the running back is at, he is wide open. There's nobody in the area, and he's going to be able to pick up, what, 10 yards, 12 yards on that. So in a cover 2 sink, the running back is going to be wide open. Let's go ahead and see if we can force the ball into the curl route, which the defender did fall back into that. So the smart read on this particular situation is the running back. So you're really going to be checking down to the running back as much as possible. Let's see if I can get this off at all. Well, yep. So really it's more of a delay on the comeback route. You probably have to wait just a little bit longer, and you can actually get that route off too. So just the way the defense is set on the backside, once again, you can get away with that too, because I guess the defender has to, the yellow defender has to pick its poison, and it looks like it seems like it defaults to the flat route. So if you wait just a little bit longer, you can still hit those comebacks against a cover 2 sink, and then obviously when it comes to big play, is that running back once again. So in the last type of coverage that you could probably see, just stock coverage, would be a cover 2 or a cover 2 buck. As you can see here, coverage is going to just react a little bit different. So let's go ahead and see if we can get away with a hook route. And actually the hook route and that flat route get taken away. On that, you can see that the defender is right there in the way. So the flat route was taken away too, but let's go ahead and throw to it. Both defenders are there to actually eat that up. However, that running back is wide open. Those defenders just skedaddle out of the way, and you can pick some pretty good yards on that. On the right side, looks like the defender didn't react very well. However, that was a fumble. Not necessarily something you'll see in a regular side, but let's take a look at it again. Defender got in the way to block that. flat is taken away. Now, kind of a minor adjustment that you can do to make sure that you never have to deal with this is what you can do is you can take your flanker wide receiver, you can put him in a comeback route, and he's going to get a little bit more depth where he's not going to be affected by that yellow zone. So, and you're going to get really good yardage on that. That was 17 yards on that particular pass play. So I will take 17 yards on a pass play all the time. It's really, 17, 20 yards. You see a quick release, you're going to be able to pick up a good 15 yards on that pass play. So probably a good standard setup with this play is to go primarily with, you go to your hook, look for the slot. If the slot is not open, you're going to follow the hook. If not, you're going to come back to Sproles. If not, you're going to go to Colson for the back end. And he's really going to have to make a lot of adjustments to actually go ahead and do that. So those are different types of play sets that you can do with the curls as far as using this as your standard play. Another thing that you can do is you could take your tight end and you can streak your tight end. Your tight end is really going to cause a lot of problems. As you can see, he's going to open up. He'll be wide open. Put a tight end on a out route. Be able to pick up some pretty good yards on that. Even a whip route. A whip route is actually really good because that will get in between defenders. But those are things to take into consideration. So let's go and just do some quick breakdown.